Many families have been asking me the same question recently. What exactly is Malaysia My Second Home? Is it immigration? Do you need to buy an expensive property? And what kind of help can it actually bring to the family? Secure your piece of this world-class address today. In this video, I want to explain it in the simplest and clearest way. What Malaysia My Second Home really is, who it may be suitable for, and why more and more families are starting to pay attention to it. Especially if you care about your children's educations, long-term family living, healthcare, lifestyle planning, and having more options for their future, then this is a video you should watch carefully. First, what is Malaysia My Second Home? The most important point, Malaysia My Second Home is not citizenship and it's not permanent residency. You can think of it as a long-term stay arrangement or long-term visa option in Malaysia. In simple terms, once your application is approved, it gives you a more suitable status to live in Malaysia for the long term. Although, of course, future renewal will still depend on the relevant conditions. And it is not only for one person. In many cases, the main applicant can also include family members such as a spouse and children, so the whole family can plan a long-term life in Malaysia together. Many families, what they really care about is not changing nationally. What they care about more is this: having a more stable long-term overseas base so the family can have more options for living, education, retirement, and future planning. For many families, the biggest attraction of Family My Second Home is not only that you can stay in Malaysia long-term. What really makes them take it seriously is the flexibility it can bring to future planning. For example, some families may think about, can our children have a different education environment? Can the family live in a more multicultural and international environment? Can we have a more stable long-term base in Southeast Asia? We keep more options open for our future lifestyle. When many people look at Malaysia My Second Home, they are not just looking at a visa. What they are really looking at is, can this arrangement make our family's future feel more secure and flexible? And that is often why matter most to many families. The third point is, why is timing important? And it is something many families easily overlook. For this kind of long-term planning, timing matters a lot. If you are thinking about your family future, whether it is children's educations, moving plan, healthcare, or retirement, the earlier you start understand it, the more advantage you usually have. Why? Because this kind of decisions is usually not just about getting a visa. It often also involves when is the right time for the family to move. What kind of school is more suitable for the children? What type of properties makes more sense? How should the family arrange their life for the next few years? So this is usually not the kind of thing you should only start looking at the last minute. The earlier you understand it, the more room you will have to adjust your plan in the future. This does not mean you must make a decision right now. It simply means the earlier you start researching, the more control you keep in your own hands. How should we look at the requirements? Many people think, is Malaysia My Second Home just something for wealthy people? Actually, it is not that simple, because today there is more than one common route. The category people often hear about include special financial zones, silver, gold, and platinum. And in recent years, some high net worth families have also looked at PVIP, which is the Premium Visa Program. The difference between these categories usually involve fixed deposit requirements, property purchase requirements, approval period, and also flexibility and usage rights. So the most important question is not which one is the most expensive. The real question is, which one is the most suitable for your family goals? I am doing this for the long-term base for your family, your children's educations, retirements and healthcare planning, property planning, or more flexibility in future life and work. Because when your goals are different, the most suitable option may also be completely. Many families pay attention to the silver category. For many ordinary families, the reason the silver category is often mentioned is very simple. In many situations, it feels more balanced. Why? Because most families usually think about three things: budget, property choice, and the real long-term living experience. Some options may look like they have a lower entry requirement, but they may also come with more limits on the type of location of property. Then many families will feel, I do not only want something that qualifies on paper, I also want a property that truly suits my future life. So when one category gives people a wider choice of property, a smoother real-life experience, and is closer to what a normal family actually needs, it naturally attracts more attention. Why some categories are more commonly discussed, it is not because people are blindly following others. It is because in real life, some options are simple, closer to what most families actually need. What should you pay attention to when buying properties? This is something many people get confused about, so I really want to remind you. Many people think as long as a project looks like it meets my second home requirement, then it should be fine. But in reality, it is usually not that simple, because Malaysia My Second Home itself may have certain requirements, but at the same time, different states in Malaysia also have their own minimum thresholds for foreigners buying properties. So you cannot only look at one side, you must look at both. The requirement of the visa or identity plan itself and the local state rules for foreign property purchase. For example, in Kuala Lumpur, foreign buyers usually have a minimum purchase price requirement. And here is one key point. Sometimes developers may give discount, so the amount you actually pay may be lower. From a compliance's point of view, what the government usually look at is the official price state in the sales and purchase agreement. In real practice, you should not simply follow the lower number. You need to check both standards clearly, confirm that the property truly fits your long-term family plan. So when choosing a property, you should not only look at whether it is cheap or whether the marketings look attractive. What matters more is, can this property really match your family plan and your long-term arrangement? Besides education, what else attracts families to Malaysia? Many families may first start looking at Malaysia because of their children, but after they understand it more deeply, they often realize that what attracts them, it is not only education. There are also two very practical reasons. The first is healthcare. Malaysian healthcare system has always been something many families pay attention to when thinking about long-term living. Especially private healthcare, many families feel that it offers easier communication, a more developed service system, and overall costs that are easier to plan. And if the family also have insurance in place, then the whole healthcare arrangement becomes more structured and easier to estimate. The second is property and lifestyle. Many families coming from big cities feel that with the same budget, they may be able to get more living space, better community facilities, and a more comfortable pace of life. So for families, their thinking is very direct. If we are already considering long-term living, then we may also want to include property planning at the same time. Who is more suitable for? If you ask me what kind of people Malaysia My Second Home usually attracts, I would say there are three common groups. The first group, families who care about their children's growth, environment, and education, and are willing to plan early for the long term. The second group, people who want to keep one more long-term living option for their family. They may not move immediately, but they want more flexibility for the future. The third group, people who are thinking about retirement, healthcare, pace of life, and overall quality of living. Of course, that does not mean it is suitable for everyone. If your family goals are already moving in this direction, then it is definitely something worth understanding seriously. So to sum up, Malaysia My Second Home is not just a visa. You can think of it as a long-term family planning tool. What it really connects to are several important parts of family life. Your children's education environment, long-term family living arrangement, healthcare planning, property choice, and flexibility in your future lifestyle. The most important point is this: the best option for you is not necessarily the most expensive one. It is the one that best matches your family goals. So if you are also thinking about whether Malaysia is suitable for your long-term family planning, how to choose the right education environment for your children, how to plan your property properly, how to prepare early for healthcare and retirement, and how to compare different visa and identity routes, feel free to talk to me on the link below. I'm Queenie, and based on your family situation, your budget, and your long-term goals, I will continue to use the simplest and clearest way to help you better understanding Malaysia properties and long-term family planning. If you found today's videos helpful, remember to like, share, and subscribe to Homie Malaysia. See you in Malaysia.